Satan hides many things from men, but there is one thing he guards more carefully than all the rest: his fear. You imagine him watching wars, ruins, and death without ever stepping back. And in part, you are right. Those things do not frighten him. I have known him since before men raised their first kingdoms. I know his voice. I know his arrogance. And I know what makes him retreat. But to understand his fear, you must first understand this: Satan rarely wins by force. He would rather have you open the door. He does not begin by saying, "Abandon God." He starts with something much smaller. Are you sure God really said that? A doubt can seem harmless, but a doubt that is fed can become distrust. And distrust, slowly, can turn obedience into rebellion. He knows that road because he was the first to walk it. Before he taught creatures to rebel, he rebelled himself. I saw him before what you call the fall, and that is where this story truly begins. Before the darkness, there was splendor. Before the hatred, there was beauty. And before he became the adversary, he knew the glory he now despises. But beholding glory was not enough. At some point, serving no longer seemed enough to him. He began to desire what did not belong to him. That is how corruption begins. Not always with a great act. Sometimes it begins with a single thought the heart refuses to release. He looked upward and no longer wanted merely to behold. He wanted to exalt himself, and pride did what pride always does. It convinced a creature that obedience was humiliation and rebellion was freedom. Others followed him. Harmony became division. Worship became defiance. And what had begun in the heart became rebellion. Then he learned, for the first time, something he has never been able to forget. There are boundaries even he cannot cross. He could defy. He could hate. He could corrupt. But he could never take the place of God. And now he knew it. Then his eyes turned toward a much smaller creature, made from dust, fragile, mortal, man, and he saw something that awakened his hatred. That fragile creature had received something that reminded him of the Creator he had rejected. That is why, in the garden, he did not come as a conqueror. No army, no sword, no roar, only a voice. Watch how he works. First, he did not say that God did not exist. He asked whether God had truly said what he said. Then he turned a command into suspicion. He made it seem as though God were hiding something, as though obedience meant losing something. It was a lie carefully built around fragments of truth. That has always been one of his favorite weapons, and it worked. Man believed, not because Satan was more powerful than God, but because a lie was allowed to enter. Remember that. Because before this story ends, you will understand why that moment in the garden explains what Satan still fears today. Many centuries later, he tried the same thing with me. I was alone in the wilderness. My body was weakened by hunger, and he waited. Satan knows how to wait. He studies the crack before he tries to enter through it. And that day, he believed he had found mine. He did not begin by threatening my life. He looked at my hunger and tried to turn need into disobedience. His proposal sounded simple. If I had power, why not use it for myself? Why endure hunger when I could end the suffering? But behind that offer was the same voice from the garden. Do not trust. Take it for yourself. When that failed, he changed his strategy. He did not abandon the lie. He simply gave it a different face. He showed me the kingdoms of men, power, glory, dominion, everything without waiting, everything without suffering. He was offering me a road without a cross, a crown without obedience, a victory built on submission to him. I refused. Then he did something many men still do not understand about Satan. He used sacred words. Yes, the one who rebelled against God can quote words about God when he believes those words will serve his purpose. But words torn away from their truth do not become true merely because they sound sacred. And that day, he could not move me. When he left the wilderness, he had not lost his malice. He had not lost his intelligence, but something had failed. His method had not worked. Later, as I walked among men, something strange happened. Many looked at me and still asked who I was. The unclean spirits did not ask. They recognized me. Before the crowds understood, they already knew before whom they stood. And their response was not pride, it was fear. I did not need to compete with them. I did not need to impress them. Authority does not need to shout in order to exist. And now you are beginning to come close to the answer. But one part is still missing. The part Satan believed was his greatest victory. He saw me betrayed. He saw men seize me. He saw my followers scatter. To the eyes of darkness, everything seemed to be moving in the right direction. Then came the cross. To anyone who could see only what stood before their eyes, it looked like defeat. The sun rejected, the disciples hiding, hope seemingly buried. If the story had ended there, Satan would have had reason to celebrate. But he had made the same mistake again. He confused what he could see with everything that was happening. The tomb received my body, and for a brief moment, the world remained silent. But the silence was not the end. When death could not hold me, one truth was exposed that Satan could never erase. His dominion has a limit. Now you can understand. What Satan fears is not the power of your armies. It is not the violence of men. It is not empty words spoken without faith. He fears the moment his lie stops working, because when you know the truth, remain in me, and refuse the voice that tries to pull you away from God. The adversary's oldest weapon loses its power. It happened in the garden. He prevailed when the lie was accepted. It happened in the wilderness. He retreated when it was rejected. That is why he keeps trying to make you believe the lie before he tries to destroy you. Satan fears a soul that can no longer be ruled by lies.